In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the exact systems that thousands of Australians and myself have used to make an extra $500 to $1,000 plus per week. Okay, welcome to the free training on match betting, how to make anywhere from $500 to $1,000 plus per week. Before we dive into this, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself, establish some credibility, where I actually come from. So for about 5 years, from 2021 to 2025, I was a dead broke chef. From there, it was like, how do I make money online? So I thought I'd try some stuff out. Got into drop shipping. As you can see, that didn't go too well. Spent a lot of money on ads. Didn't have a lot of confidence back then. Didn't feel like doing it organic and lost a shitload of money. Kind of cringe, but I got into TikTok shop affiliate. Lost over $20,000 mainly on ads and stuff there. Failed that and then got into digital marketing consulting. Spent so much money on mentorships, programs, coaches, and that just didn't work out. I ended up emailing every single dentist on Yellow Pages in Australia and lost about $40,000, never made a dollar. Realized that I didn't want to be sending 300 to 500 emails every single day. And at the end of it, that's what my bank account looked like. I was dead broke, needed some money. Was just trying to find ways to make money online. And then I came across match betting. As you can see, that worked out quite well. And from there, I decided to create this community to help others do the same. From there, I now live in Koh Samui. My rent is like more than $10,000 a month. Do whatever I want, when I want. And now I show others how to do the same. Some results from the members here. I've had people join and make over $400 in the first couple of days. These boys here, Sammy and Tyler, made over $1,000 in the last couple of days. And I've personally made over $6K a day using these systems. So we'll just dive straight in. So the average person that bets usually bets in $10 unit sizes. That's for a beginner. And from there, over the last month, the weekly average was over $1,000, which is about $55,000 per year. Advanced, once you get a lot more advanced, like I personally bet in $100 unit sizes, some other people do. And from that last month alone, we made about $7,000 per week, which was almost 30 grand for the month, which is over $360,000 for the year. And some prerequisites for you guys. So what you're actually going to need to do this, you have to be Australian, or at least have some sort of Australian, residency. I don't personally live in Australia. I live in Koh Samui, but I have access to Australian bookmakers through a VPN, and you just need to be Australian to do this. You have to be at least 18 years old. If you're a minor, you can still learn about this, but you won't be able to actually apply the systems I teach until you're 18 because it's illegal. And you need a phone. That's pretty much it. I would personally recommend getting a laptop. It is going to make your life so much easier. But if you don't have a laptop, it's completely fine. You can eventually look at getting one, or you can just do it on your phone. It just makes things a lot easier if you have a laptop. But getting into what we do, so match betting. When people think betting, they think gambling. And I just want to establish there's a clear difference, and match betting is not gambling. And I'll kind of lay out the differences here. So match betting involves basically having a positive edge against the sports books. That's how we actually guarantee profit. And as you can see by the chart here, over time, we're going to be profitable. Versus with gambling, this is why gamblers always lose. Bookmakers that you bet on have a built-in edge, and this edge guarantees you to lose long-term. I'll get into the edge there and how they actually establish that, but you can see with gambling, it's obviously luck-based, emotional decision-making. You might be betting on a team because you like them, or because you're guessing, or like, oh, this team's red, and I like the color red, so I'm going to bet on them. And, long-term, you are going to lose, and statistically speaking, this is a fact. More than 99% of gamblers lose money long-term, and that is a fact. Also, with match betting, on the other hand, it's mathematical based, using logical decision making, guaranteeing a profit long term. And by long term, I don't mean years. I mean like typically every single week we're profitable. Across 2 weeks, you're guaranteed to be profitable. Every single fortnight, you are profitable. Statistical analysis is done throughout that to guarantee that. And I'll get into the systems and what we teach. So gambling in Australia to start is like, how does match betting exist? How is it such a lucrative business? If you guys don't know what lucrative means, it basically just means profitable. So how is it this system so profitable? It's because gambling is the worst in Australia out of any country in the whole entire world. So Australia is #1 in the world for gambling losses. And this statistic is based on how much money Australia has lost gambling divided by the Australian population that has availability to gamble. So the statistic here shows that the average Australian loses about $2,000 a year. That's based on not just gamblers, but all Australians as a whole, divided by how much money we lose per year as gambling. Considering only like 20 to 40% of Australians gamble, that means the average Australian probably loses more like $5,000 to $10,000 a year gambling. And that's just your average, have a punt every Friday, Saturday with the boys or something. That's not degenerate gamblers spending thousands a week, which I know some people do, but basically Australia is the worst in the world for gambling. And Sportsbet, which is just one bookmaker, and keep in mind there's hundreds of bookmakers, Sportsbet alone has over 2.5 million active customers as of 2024. And as you can see, it's only getting worse in the rise in the amount of percentage of Australians that are gambling. So back in like 2015, like 1 out of every 10 Aussies gambled. Now, as of 2025, 1 out of every 4 Aussies gamble. And in my opinion, I think it's more than that. So this is how match betting is so profitable, because there's so many people gambling, so many people losing money, that there's just so much liquidity in the business to be made. And to get into the fact of like, well, why do 99% of gamblers lose? It's because bookmakers have a built-in edge, which basically means long-term they are guaranteed to be profitable because they have an edge over you. So if we get into this here, like this is what a fair bet would look like. This is a 50-50 bet. You know, you bet on the total over points or under points in an NBA game. If it was a fair bet, you bet $100 on this bet, you bet $100 on this bet, no matter what, you're going to make $200. So you're not going to win money or lose money. It's a fair bet. But this is what a bet actually looks like on a bookmaker. They put the odds lower, so they have a 10% advantage over you. That's what an edge is. It's an advantage. The bookmakers have an advantage, which is how they are so profitable. If you lose once, win once, lose once, win once, and keep repeating that cycle, long term, as you can tell from the graph, you are going to lose money. That's just how it works, right? And I'll kind of get into the maths here. I don't want to bore you with it too much, but I'll give you an example. Like if you bet on this bet 100 times, 50, let's say you just get like the exact outcome, which is like the average outcome. It's a 50-50 bet, so you're likely to lose 50 times, win 50 times. So if you lost 50 times, you would lose $5,000. If you won 50 times, you would win $4,500. So when you take the $5,000 worth of losses and you add the $4,500 of profit that you made, you're still going to lose $500. So even off 50-50, you're going to lose money. You can kind of pause the video there and read over the math, but that's how it works. This is what guarantees you to lose long term, is that they have a built-in edge. And the only way you can beat that built-in edge is if you get lucky, if you're gambling. But if you are match betting, we have a system that gives us the edge, which is what makes us profitable. So what is match betting? Millions of Australians lose money gambling every single year. This is because bookmakers have a built-in edge, which I just explained, aiding them in winning long term. Bookmakers offer promotions to lure new gamblers in and to make existing customers bet more. However, we have discovered a system that takes advantage of these bookmaker promotions, guaranteeing profit. If you guys look here, this is an example of promotions you are typically given. The main two we use is this one here, any 3-leg same game multi. You bet $50 on a multi-bet, and if you lose, you get a $50 bonus bet back. Or you bet on any race. You bet $50 on a horse, and if the horse comes second or third, which typically more than 90% of the time, the horse will come second or third, you get a $50 bonus bet return. Upwards of $50 bonus bet. So if you bet $20, you get a $20 return. If you bet $50, you get a $50 return. If you bet $100, you only get a $50 return. The max they give you is $50. And a lot of people ask, well, why would the bookmakers just give us this free money, right? It's free money, right? Okay, so for starters, like degenerate gamblers that bet and actually get these bet returns, they don't know what to do with them. So they just bet it on something random and they lose it every single time. So that's why bookmakers give it to you, because they know you're just going to throw it away. And to you, to a degenerate gambler, it looks like free money, but it's not, because you're just going to spend money, get that free money, and then lose it. So bookmakers basically bring these out for two main reasons. One, it lures new gamblers to come in. So basically people be like, oh, I'm looking for a different bookmaker to bet on. Oh, if I go bet on Sportsbet, they'll give me all these free money promotions. So that brings in new people to the business. Or just free money to make Aussies gamble more. So you're like, you're losing money, you're losing money, you're losing money. Oh, maybe I should stop gambling. You know, I'm wasting all my money on this. And the bookmakers are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't stop, bro. We'll give you some free money so you can keep gambling and it won't cost you anything. But obviously it does. So this is why bookmakers give out the free money, because people don't know how to actually take advantage of these bet returns. But we do, and that's what we teach. Like, how do we take advantage of these promotions? I'll get into the differences of why these bet returns are so profitable. So if you look here, this is just a very standard bet. We have $45 at 3 odds, 4.5 units. So ordinarily, with no bet return, if you win, you'll get $90 in profit, because you win $135 minus the $45 stake, which is $90. If you lose, then you just lose $45. So if 2 losses, 45 times 2 is equivalent to $90, and 1 win is equivalent to $90, that means 2 losses and 1 win means you'll be even. So if you lose twice, win once, lose twice, win once, keep repeating that cycle on this same bet, you'll be even. Meaning to be profitable, you would have to win at least 34% of the time, because 33.3% of the time means you're even. So if your win percentage is 34%, you'll be profitable, which basically means you have to win more than 1 out of every 3 times. But with a bet return, this is what actually gives us that edge. When you win that $9 in profit. It's the same maths there, obviously. But when you lose, instead of losing $45, you get a $45 bonus bet. And now this $45 bonus bet can be converted by 70%, which turns into $30 of real cash. How do we convert the bonus? I'll show you that in the next slide. But all you have to know is that instead of a loss being $45, it's only $15. 90 divided by 15 is 6, meaning 6 losses is the same as 1 win. So if you lose 6 times and you win once, you'll be even, which means you only have to win 1 out of every 6 times to be profitable. So only a 15% win rate is required to be profitable. I mean, even a degenerate gambler can win like 15% of the time. You know what I mean? So that's just how profitable this is. Now, if we move into like, how do we actually convert these bonus bets? So you lost your bet, you get a bonus bet. How are we going to convert that? So I've got an example here. I had a $40 bonus bet and I ended up converting this at like 80.4%, which is pretty good. On average, your conversion will be anywhere from 66 to 80%. Now, some basic rules for converting bonuses. Always bet on a popular market. It's very suspicious if you're betting on like women's NBA, because like not a lot of people are betting on the WNBA. So they're like, why is this guy betting on such an odd market? And it will raise suspicion to your account. And inevitably, you'll probably get banned. So you want to make sure you're betting on a very popular market. So that's NBA, NRL, AFL, NFL, or the English Premier League, or maybe even some popular tennis matches, etc. Always back the underdog at least 4 odds. So this is like a 5.5 odds bet. And if you guys don't know anything about odds, you don't know anything about unit sizes, you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll get into depth in this in the future. But for the base of this, the conversion has to be at least 66%. Okay, so if you end up doing the maths and the conversion's like 60%, don't do it and find another bet. So for this example, I've got my $40 bonus bet here. And I want to let me dive into the difference between bonus cash and real cash. So if you put $40 on this bet, it's going to return $220. But if you put a $40 bonus bet on it, it's $180. Why? Because it's the full potential return minus the $40 stake is how much you're going to get returned. So this is why bonus cash isn't even real money. When people think like, oh, I'll just place a $50 bet. If I lose, I get a $50 bonus bet. It's $50 back, but it's not real money. It's stake not returned, because the stake that you put in is not returned. Thus, the maths there. Now, when you dive back into this, basically we're going to place 2 bets. We're going to put our bonus bet on the Pelicans, and we're going to go onto Betfair, which is a betting exchange site, and you're going to lay your bet on the Pelicans, which basically just means you're betting against the Pelicans to win. It's the same as betting for the Timberwolves to win. So on this bet, you're betting the Pelicans are going to win. On this bet, you're betting the Pelicans are not going to win. So if you do the maths here, you're placing a bonus bet backing the Pelicans on Sportsbet. You're not spending any money. You're just putting down your $40 bonus bet, and in return, you're going to get a $180 payout. Now on Betfair, you're going to stake $147.89, shown here in the liability, and you're going to get a $180 payout if it wins. So no matter what wins, if this one wins, we win $180 and this one loses. If this one loses, we win $180 on this one and nothing on this one. So no matter the outcome, whether the Pelicans win or they lose, we're guaranteed $180. Now, other than Sportsbet, we staked our $40 bonus bet. So we didn't stake any actual money. And on Betfair, we staked $147. So in total, we've spent $147, that's it, plus the bonus bet. Pelicans win or the Pelicans lose, we're going to win $180. So no matter the outcome, we're guaranteed $180. Now, when you grab that $180 win minus the stake, you get $32, which means we've converted our $40 bonus bet into $32 of real cash. So instead of having a $40 bonus bet and going, what do I do with this? You convert it by 80% and you get back $32 of real cash. So when you do the maths, 32.11 divided by 40 times 100, it means we've converted our bonus by 80.4%. Basically, we've placed a $40 bet, it lost, and then we got a $40 bonus bet, and we converted that by 80.4%, basically meaning if our bet won, we might have won like $100+, but if it loses, we only lose like $8. So that's basically how profitable that system is. So how does this actually guarantee profit? So like, I'll show you our track record from the last 4 weeks. Basically, On the NBA last month, our average stake was 4.32 units. Now the average beginner will bet in $10 unit sizes, which basically means the average bet is only $43. And the average odds were $3.43. If you don't know what odds are, if you bet $100 at 3.43 odds, you're going to win $343. So it's basically timesing your amount by the odds. So for a $10 unit better, average bet is $43 at 3.43 odds. 43 times 3.43 is $147. I know the maths might seem kind of confusing. You can pause it and just kind of read over it, but basically a win will be $147 minus the stake, which means our win is $105. Our average win is $105 in profit. And our average loss, if you look at the maths here, is $43 times 70%, because I just showed you a loss would be a $43 loss bonus bet, which we convert by 70%, which equals $30 of real cash. Meaning a win is $104 and a loss is $12.9. So when you take our win and you divide it by the loss, you get 8.1. You divide that by 100, meaning if you have a 12.4% win percentage, you'll be dead even. Meaning you only need a 13% win rate to be profitable. That's how powerful the match betting system is. You only need to win 13% of the time to make money. And as you can see by our track record last month, we had a win percentage of 37.66%. And you don't need to be an absolute genius to look at a chart and see the rising increase and understand, okay, this obviously works. But here's the biggest issue. You need to be consistent with this. If you started right around here, and this is probably like 2 days right here, right? Someone joins, they go bang 2 days in and they've lost some money and then they quit. And if you just stayed, boom, you would have won. So you'll have losses here and there, that's what the dips are. But long term, the graph is always up. So if you just stick to it, no matter what, you are going to be profitable. And this is across the board right here. So I'll show you like NBA, profitable, horse racing, extremely profitable, AFL, profitable, NRL, profitable. Across those four, we are all profitable. And the average win rate across here is like 40 to 50%. I mean, the AFL was very profitable last year. We had like 80% on that, which was amazing. So that's sort of a rough guide on what match betting is. So we take advantage of the promotions that the bookmakers offer to lure in new players and we profit off them. It's as simple as that. So if you guys want to know more about this, obviously I dive into much heavier detail inside the community, which I'll leave a link in the description. You guys can join for free. But if you want access to these systems, we have 5 stars on WAP. We have a 100% money back guarantee. So there's like, the worst case scenario is you won't make any money and we'll give you 100% money back guarantee, and it's that, right? We have a 0% dispute rate at this time of recording, meaning not a single person has ever asked for a refund. That is how profitable our systems are. It's a completely free trial, so you can test it out if you're interested. You can cancel at any time. We have a 50% recurring income on all affiliates, which basically means if you join and you refer 10 of your friends at $100 a month, per year you'll get $6,000 completely for free. So you'll get $500 a month from a 50% referral affiliate, meaning you'll just make $6,000 a year for free if you can refer 10 people. If you refer one person, then you'll get $600 a year for free. It's literally as simple as that. But that's basically what we offer. And I'll show you where you actually get inside. So we have a step-by-step match betting bootcamp. That is what I dive into extremely deep detail on. So everything I just explained to you are just the basics of what match betting is and how it works. If you guys want to really dive deep into it, you can join completely for free and go study the bootcamp. And I dive into deeper detail on exactly how everything works, how to keep your accounts sustained, how to profit long term. It has all the track records that show our profits. We have a Discord community where you'll be surrounded by like-minded people with expert support, so you can DM me or you can talk to people in the group. Bet tracking dashboards, so you can track all of your bets, so you know exactly how much money you're making, and monthly profit reports showing you, that gets updated every single day. So every single day you can figure out how much more money we're making. 24/7 player news and injury updates. This can be super useful if like an NBA player injures themselves right before a game and we know, so we know not to bet on them. An exclusive sports betting playbook. So there's a sports betting playbook, which you guys can just grab completely for free, and it will explain everything that I teach in deeper detail. And a deposit matches. This is awesome. So a deposit matches spreadsheet, which is basically a free money guide that explains how you can make over $1,600 completely risk-free. I dive into that on a separate video, but basically you join a bookmaker, they give you free money for joining them, and you can convert that free money through the same bonus bet conversion system, and you get free money. And I have a complete chart and graph that shows you how you can make over $1,600 completely free, straight off the bat. Most importantly, you get access to all the winning picks that guarantee profit. So here's what it looks like. You get a slip that says 4.5 units. If you're only betting in $1 unit sizes because you're new, then that'll be like $4.5. If you're completely advanced and you're betting in if you're betting in $100 unit sizes, that's a $450 bet. For a more basic beginner, most people typically bet in $10 unit sizes, meaning this would be a $45 bet. Shows you what bookies to bet on and the exact statistics and reasoning behind the bet. So for this example, Miami, Klay Thompson 10 plus, Tyler Hero under 30.5 points, and it shows you in here exactly why this is a good bet and why it should win. So that's pretty much it, guys. I've got a link down in the description if you guys want to check it out. It's completely free to join, and I'll see you guys inside.